side, it is going to be AHQ. And then for your red side, it's going to be Resurgence.
Now, the draft will give us a little bit of preview what AHQ decides to go for against Resurgence. I mean, you lost against Nova. Time to get this 100% win for AHQ. And I believe either you do two things. If Resurgence ever decides to do what Nova did before, in the form of either Shinsekai or in the form of Raven, maybe even Mexi, because Mexi's performance is actually pretty consistent throughout the PCS so far, despite, you know, the 1-8 record that RSG has right now for their first round robin. And that will really reflect on the drafts. Like, we're not going to be seeing Raven anymore on the LeBlanc. So what other options do you have to enable yourself to roam and do what you did when you were up against LeBlanc? I mean, Liab.
Yeah, well, LeBlanc's already taken off the table. Going through our bans really quickly. At least LeBlanc, Senna taken away from the side of Resurgence by AHQ. Resurgence respond with the Aphelios, the Zoe, and the Olaf being banned out, and that leads to the first pick misfortune on the side of AHQ. Lots of priority on the champion, and they go ahead and lock it in. Interesting, the Callista did not draw a ban here, so maybe AHQ have said, all right, we played against it once, we know what we need to do.
Yep.
As Varus is going to get locked in.
Varus for Mexi. He hasn't played Varus at all, so either we might see another Varus mid for the third time today. Not very sure. That could still be a potential flex if RSG decides to play that one. For HQ, Rek'Sai is still open, so whether or not Kongye decides to pick that up, you actually also deny Epic out of another aggressive jungle. Force him on the Lee Sin again, I suppose. As Epic did play 3 different junglers already. He did Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, and Trundle. Again, Trundle hasn't been doing well in the PCS, so maybe they're not going to pick that one up.
I'm interested here, though. Do AHQ want to go ahead and pick up the Ornn? It has been left available by the side of RSG, as they opted to go in for the Braum for the counter pick of the Misfortune ultimate in theory, as well technically the counter that would come from the Ornn Horn. So I guess maybe that will dissuade them as AHQ. Let's see, do they try and lock in their jungle, as they already shown the Syndra here, and possibly the J4 getting locked in.
J4 getting locked in for Kongye. This is going to be his first time on the champion. Let's see if RSG is pressured to do the same. Actually, I wonder, because Set has been passed.
What?
Set,
yeah, Set's gone through.
So Ziv and Shinsekai have been really great Set players, so they're passing off from that pick in particular, probably saving for that top lane matchup for later, perhaps. That's probably the reason why. Renekton is also pretty much out there for Ziv to pick up as well. Echo and Raven.
It wasn't a great time when we saw it, unfortunately. I was not impressed with the first time we saw Raven's Echo in the league. Again, I think that heavily relied on, though, the fact that there wasn't a lot of synergy between him and the jungle. So maybe this time around, that's the idea, is Resurgence are like, all right, we know what we need to do with the game plan, especially when we're going up against a Syndra, someone we should be focusing early. That's going to be our point where we want to try and strike at it, HQ, early on the game.
Yeah, we've seen this before. You go up against the Syndra, you lock in the Echo, and the paired up jungler that Raven had was actually the Trundle, but again, it didn't work out so well. So perhaps they're going to shift through different things. Sejuani actually being taken out. And meanwhile, RSG ban out Bard and Thresh, and therefore either Isera goes back, to the Nautilus, or more of the usual favorite support that he likes to play would be the Leona, who's been played 3 times, the same as Thresh.
See here, though, a lot of the jungle's been taken away. I was going to say, we're starting to go down the list here, Riku, when it comes to jungle picks. We've already got rid of the Elise, the Lee Sin, and the Sejuani. Olaf is gone. J4 has been taken. It kind of leaves this Trundle when we go down the list, but last time I saw Trundle on Resurgence, it was not a fun experience. It was not a fun League of Legends experience.
It's just giving me a lot of painful flashbacks, Opal, and hopefully
this was the composition that we also saw.
Exactly it.
This was the do-nothing composition, and it got me so annoyed.
Okay, the difference is that was Gengar last time.
Okay.
Now it's Epic, so this could be a different scenario for RSG. In the meantime, though, what will they settle for Shinsekai in the top side, as it will be very, very important coming into this match. As we've seen that AHQ tend to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say relaxed, but low-key when it comes to the top side, and that's going to be a Poppy lock-in by Shinsekai.
There you go. Poppy getting locked in for Shinsekai. We'll see. Likely going to go up into that top lane. In response here, AHQ, they got the Renekton already locked in, as well as the Magical Cat joining us onto the Rift once more. So we'll be seeing Yuumi in that bot lane paired up with the Misfortune. But overall, you look at the composition from AHQ, you look pretty much late game right there.
Yes.
You're looking at a heavy engage late game where you're going to have Syndra, you're going to have a Uniboy looking to one-shot this Varus if given the opportunity. You're also going to have this Misfortune that as long as Epic is not able to get a pillar down, Misfortune should do fine here. So it's going to be a bit of a tough one, a bit more of a brawler style composition from both of these squads as we load on into the Rift for our 4th game of the night. I
am very excited to see the mid game especially for Resurgence, as there's a lot of potential. Maybe for pre-level 6, I'm going to have my eye on I have my eyes on the mid lane for sure with Raven and Epic to have more proactivity in the Rift. But with the addition to the new support of Resurgence, things are going to be very different. Dululu is, he played in the ECS for a year. He was even on the same team as Ozzy and Kino before. So he's no stranger coming up against, the likes of the roster of AHQ.
Yeah, he was in a substitute role, I believe,
yes.
on that roster, so I don't think he saw a whole lot of play, but maybe scrimmed with the boys. For AHQ, this is you cannot lose this. This is very much a you cannot lose this. If AHQ actually dropped this, they drop down to 8-4, and it really actually affects them possibly looking at securing one of those bye slots into the semifinals of the winners bracket during playoffs. Resurgence, this is also every game for them is must win, especially with HKA winning their match before them here.
Yes.
That's actually opened up a 2-game lead for Hong Kong Attitude when it comes to the playoff race. And that's them just trying to get out of the bubble. Get into the playoffs if you're HKA. Resurgence, they also are in that same spot, but they're behind them. They're waiting in line, Riku, you could say.
It is tough because the first round robin for RSG was just very... I don't know what to say. I don't know what particular word I'm looking for, but it was painful because, again, I think they were just 1-8 at the first round robin.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough.
It was rough. And to my knowledge, it really affected the morale of the team. Honestly, I don't. If this team might have been, in a much worse state if they actually lost to Liab last week, because then you would have went winless in your first round robin. And if you especially looking back to how Crow was talking to the players, especially in the content piece that they put out the other day, it really did look like that Resurgence were starting to hit a bit of a mental hurdle. There was the attitude of, if you keep losing, you can't ever stop losing, almost. So to see them actually take home the victory on the Liab matchup at the end of last week, I think really helped shift the mentality, and that might open up the floodgates for them.
For sure, and seeing their, former LST squads taking games out here and there, especially against, the top ranking teams in the PCS after the first round robin, you will really think that it's not over till it's over.
And hey, Epic looking for his first appearance here, as that's actually going to be the Flash likely having to be burned here from the Misfortune, as Resurgence are able to find it. Kong is not able to respond to the play as Resurgence already get back to safety, but all right. That is more action than I have seen from the Trundle, from Resurgence, and the entire first round robin I saw on one play. that is a great start for Resurgence. I like seeing them get a summoner.
Great indeed. So Kogya was spotted out by... Oh, wait, the stun kicks in.
Yeah, Raven's got to be a little bit careful. He can't just walk into a Syndra like that.
Gotta be careful. Meanwhile, this... Oh, wow.
Yeah, Civ hurts. He's a scary alligator.
He is. And yeah, this matchup is going to be a little bit painful. Very painful for Shinsekai. But at least you do have that dash cancel that you get from a Poppy. That's what can happen for you, I suppose. Little bit poke here and there, but the utility that you get from a Poppy later on in these fights will really work well with RSG. Maybe cut off one member out to make it a temporary 4v5 is what RSG plans to do, is enter into these scary engages later on.
Yeah, having that the steadfast presence to actually just block any of the dashes, especially with the Poppy, makes it rather hard for the Jarvan to go for the flag drag combo with that being available. It also makes it that Yuumi, if she's caught off guard, she can't actually get back to safety, especially with the nerfs that came to Yuumi. If she gets caught out early during a fight, she will usually just die immediately. Same with the Renekton also, if he wants to go for a flank. So there's a bit of safety for their backline, which Shinsekai is, as well as the Keeper's Verdict to get everyone to safety.
Exactly. So they have some form of disengage at least. Raven gonna get chunked out a little bit by Uniboy as expected towards this matchup. But it will depend on how these trades will go. Ziv obviously winning all of these against Shinsekai with 2 corrupting pot stacks still for the Poppy up top, at least.
I see Civ even challenging for the buckler. Reminder, too, Renekton did have the adjustment where he's actually able to really shred through shields, the shield breaker as it would be. Where if the Poppy tries to, get a quick trade in with the buckler being picked up, yet the Renekton can shred through that. He doesn't care about your shields.
Exactly, and Epic.
All right. Epic.
Has an idea. He's waiting.
4 members. Resurgence. They're looking for a collapse here. AHQ around the side. Raven's got level 6. He gets in with the parallel convergence. Able to find 2 stuns, and that's going to be the Syndra. Take it down immediately. First blood in favor of Resurgence.
Teleport. Oh, okay. Are they going in?
I don't know. It's going to force out a flash here. They're going to continue going. Yuumi does get the slow. But first blood for Resurgence against AHQ. All right, it's underdog day. Let's go.
It's time, Opal. This is... Okay, before we keep saying this, we might jinx it, but RSG is doing really, really well. Shinsekai cornered at the mid lane, actually. Not able to respond. Joined the team.
Sim actually got to be careful there. We'll see. HQ are still trying to fight for this. No level 6 available for the Misfortune, as it's going to be a slow dragon take, but it is a dragon take nonetheless, says Keeper's Verdict. Nicely done there from Shinsekai. Is able to disengage the fight entirely.
RSG can keep rinsing and repeating this. Either you scare them away with all the damage in the world with the perfect setup that Raven just did earlier, or you get an objective, disengage, with the Keeper's Verdict. Shinsekai is going to be very important coming into this match in particular. Resurgence, again, getting first blood, getting first dragon at a time where it was being contested by AHQ at that. You can see that they're in a different state of mind right now, and I'm liking it.
You got to be aggressive, though, because if you do look, with that first blood, it's still only a very small gold lead because of the big CS difference that's starting to form in the mid lane. 56 to 40. Raven's been falling a bit behind. You've seen him getting poked out very constantly. Also in that top lane, Civ has been going very aggressive directly into the wave. So you got to keep up the pace here, and we saw what happens if teams are able to do that against AHQ. It catches them off guard. We saw it with Nova earlier on in the game. And I like seeing the Trundle early, making plays, making stuff happen.
Making plays indeed, as Epic will decide where to go next. With RSG top side meeting in the middle, quite a little bit extended. I suppose that's not going to be open for dives anytime soon. Really nice chunk of damage from Shinsekai there. Pop in the potion, trading in Ooh, never mind. This is a swap we've never seen before from RSG.
Well, it's in line here with AHQ, though.
Uh-huh, true.
They're going to show 3 members topside. And actually full pressure here as Resurgence show 4 overall on the map. Unfortunately, not able to get any turret plates, but let's see. Do they try and pressure for this Rift Herald? Oh, but behold, AHQ, they're spotted out here, and they're going to go ahead and take the Blast Cone. Resurgence really want to go toe-to-toe here against AHQ. Rift Herald is up and available, so that's going to be the objective we'll likely see the fight over, but well, taking it to AHQ here is Resurgence.
This is interesting because I think we've never seen this kind of rotation from RSG before. It's usually...
RSG usually just sit in bot lane and wait it out.
That, or they paddle through bot. Wait.
Let's see. Vision denied here. Oh, Dululu's trying to make a sneaky play. Rift Herald down to 2,000 health. Parallel Convergence going to be used to try and zone back the fight. Resurgence, they're able to secure it. Now, what's the play? Beautiful interrupt coming out from Sensekai, and that's going to be Kongyu caught out toward the side. And RSG strike twice at the start of the game, picking up their 2nd kill.
Yo, yo, yo. That is just wow by RSG. Well played. Nice deny engage by Shinsekai here on Kongyu. And now he's eliminated at that. Normally, AHQ, once the objective has been already taken, you just go back. So this was an interesting approach to things, as they were actually wanting to go back and just deny the flag and drag by Kongyu. Great job by Shinsekai over there.
Epic does get the kill on the Trundle, so he's going to be big. They also got a kill on over to Mexi. Also mid lane, they're able to take some turret plating, not able to finish it off, but still 1,000 gold lead for Resurgence. And it's only 4 minutes till 15. Reminder, on paper, this team on average is behind by 3,000 gold.
Yes.
This is, I don't care what happens this game. I'm already excited to see the new Resurgence.
Happy. It is.
Like, this is more than what the team has done in the entire first round robin, except for the 1 game against Liab.
And they're going up against AHQ, who only dropped, I believe, 1 game in the first round robin. And it is the complete polar opposite of RSG, who only won 1 game in the first round robin. So you're seeing, again, 2 mirror teams, or not mirror, 2 opposite teams in this particular match. I'm excited.
So far, so good. And doing this before even like first item spikes. Now, they got to keep doing it, though. Because Uniboy's starting to open up a bit of a CS lead here in the mid lane. And that's kind of counteracting a lot of the gold that's being picked up here by Resurgence. Even with, what, it was 3 or 4 turret plates in mid lane, the 2 kills, they're still only up by about 800 gold. And like I mentioned, it was like 1,100. It's already shrank. It keeps shrinking here. Let's see here. AHQ looking for a play up in the top lane. We'll see here, though. Shinsekai ends up using it. That's going to be a teleport, though, coming out immediately. I believe that is going to be Raven joining in on the fight. Make it another member of AHQ, though. They turn that 2v2 into a 3v2 in their favor. This push is here. Uniboy wants to try and go for a play.
That was a nice bait by RSG, actually. Because of that, this opens up Dragon, and therefore AHQ is not able to get that whatsoever. Usually we see...
Oh, look at this. Raven, Shinsekai, looking for the trap, not able to land it, though. And Civ, he's caught out. He's not able to dash away just yet. Keeper's Verdict is going to knock him up into the air. Uniboy wants to rejoin on toward the fight, but Raven's still getting too much damage onto this Renekton. That's the 3rd kill going over now to Resurgence, as they also secured a Cloud Drake.
What is happening? This is... It could be not over yet. Uniboy might get the stun in. Shinsekai is very low. Are you going to pull the trigger?
Uniboy tries to go for it. There's the damage. Shinsekai down to less than 100 health. He gets the auto attack, and he's able to survive by just a sliver of health on his Poppy, as Uniboy cannot finish the kill.
I can feel Uniboy's blood boiling. That was just probably 1 more auto attack. 1 more. And that could have been the end of Shinsekai. And a lot has been baited. Look at the 1 plate left for Raven here to take the middle lane tower. Good thing Ziv was there to just clear that wave up, and therefore not a lot has, been given up. But then again, that is going to be, I suppose, Flash still intact for Uniboy, so everything's still A-okay.
I see there. Yeah, it's just a simple pickup here on the side of Resurgence. Like, Uniboy, he's trying to at least back off. Like, I don't know. Maybe he should be going for Raven. Maybe at least you get the ultimate out of the Echo. But either way, Resurgence still 1,000 gold up. This is always the concern, Riku.
Yeah, it is.
They're getting kills. They're getting, you know, turret plates. They're getting dragons. But this gold lead is remaining the same.
Ah, that's true.
And it's just because of the CS differences, especially in mid lane. Like, Uniboy, he might have died already, but he's almost 60 CS up on Raven right now.
And I think one of the things to compensate for that is the constant pressure that Raven will try to apply on the map, I suppose, especially topside. We've seen that before already. Plates are already down, so we'll have to see the switch from RSG. They're the ones who initiated this first. They've done this twice in the game already. Rift Herald, already been used, I suppose.
Look toward your mini-map, though. We got Epic pathing up, looking for possibly a dive here onto Civ, as Raven's got 2 levels here. Does Epic show himself? Oh, double dash already used. Civ now has to start running. Unfortunately, that is, of course, going to be ultimate popped. Goes back into the Dominus, but here comes Dululu over toward the side. Got the Fisher on down, able to cut off his path. And that's another kill in favor of Resurgence. How did Mexi get that kill?
What?
Oh, Mexi got a piercing arrow over toward the side. Still, that's a kill now onto your Varus, as well as the first brick going in favor of Resurgence.
Tower Rift Herald kills 0-4. What is happening, Opal? Meanwhile, Shinsekai is going to be fine for now. As HQ, I feel like since the lead is slowly piling up to Resurgence's side, HQ is probably pressured to do something, as they are trying to return the favor by destroying that tower. But before that happens, RSG has already rotated at bot side.
See, this is such a different Resurgence. And arguably, like, I'd say, like, AHQ are playing differently, but they're not.
They're not.
They're playing a slow early game. That's how AHQ have always played. They always respect their opponents. But there's almost too much respect, and RSG have finally, like, woken up after, you know, being in a coma for 3 weeks, apparently. They're like, here, we're here to play League of Legends. This, again, at the beginning of the split, a lot of coaches, a lot of players, when we saw, like, the power pools from the casting teams,
yes,
a lot of people put Resurgence dead last. But we were told there was a scrim Resurgence.
Yeah.
That was absolutely ridiculous to play against, and everyone was underselling them. This might be finally what we're seeing out of Resurgence finally now.
And I can't stop smiling because when we look back at the first round robin, it didn't seem like it looked really dire for them. And that shining light, I suppose, in a combination of things that happened for sure off stream, and as well as their victory against Liab, helped really boost their, you know, not only their mindset, but I guess their understanding as a whole on what they should do, especially against these LMS squads. Now, for HQ, do they fight fire with fire? They will probably try and match RSG.
We'll see. We got ourselves an Infernal spawning in 10 seconds. So if AHQ's to wake up now, this is the time to do it. Third Drake of the game, 17 minutes into the match. Rift Herald popped in mid lane. They're going to go ahead and get themselves another turret and get a lot of pressure here in mid lane. And that opens up about a 3,000 gold lead.
Oh,
Lulu, a little bit too close to the action. Scatter of the Weak is able to connect. It's into a Fly Drag combo into the last chapter. Shinsekai over toward the side, able to get rid of the Renekton and immediately. And there you go. RSG are able to reset the fight.
Keeper's Verdict, though not going to be available for this particular Dragon Dance. Either RSG decides to leave, fight another day. HQ will probably be pressured to take this one as Resurgence decide to retreat. This would be the call for RSG. I'm
actually shocked that Resurgence didn't actually try and fight this one here. They did lose out on a couple, majority of their ultimates. Epic gets caught out, so he has to back off. So it looks like AHQ here are going to be able to claim their first dragon of the game. You did see Raven trying to hide below.
Ooh,
Shinskai's
Shinsekai.
back here. Resurgence are giving this up without a fight. Meanwhile, mid lane, Mexi, it's going to be exhausted. Bullet time comes out, but it's still not enough damage to finish off the Varus. And that's a big ultimate to let go. Resurgence is going to go ahead and start up the Infernal.
There you go. Now HQ has to reply to this.
Now RSG might be caught out, though, because now Delulu's caught out toward the side, has the shield soaking up a decent chunk of damage, goes into stasis, able to survive. Uniboy doesn't stick around and finish off the kill. As now AHQ try to answer back here onto the Drake.
This Drake has been resetted 3 times already, I believe, and RSG just does not want to let this go. I guess since they've burned so many already, it is just the first Drake anyways, so they will be comfy to just let that be, especially that their AD carries already, Mexi already burned a lot of summoners, so it's going to be a little bit risky to enter into that fight once more.
There we go. Infernal is secured by AHQ, and they're going to stall out the soul possibility for Resurgence in this match. But still, it's a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Resurgence. And if you told me this, Riku, going into the game, I'd say we're going to check you into the hospital because I think you might be sick yourself.
Am I crazy?
You might be crazy, but it is happening here as Resurgence. This is the early game that teams have been able to exploit of AHQ.
Yeah,
and if they try, if Resurgence do this in any other match, like, oh, keep it going. I'm ready.
Especially against, you know, the slow-moving teams from the former LMS. I think this is the LST, the GPL, or the SEA special in general, where they just really, really like the fights and kills to objectives. That's how they transition things. Meanwhile, I thought Kong is about to start something, as a lot of really nice deep vision for RSG, actually. Spot out important targets. Epic.
All right. Epic.
Epic.
Trying to hide. Oh, he's being sneaky. He's going to come out toward the side. He's right on top of the Jarvan and Yumi. Teleport also going to be there from Raven. Actually, that is Shinsekai over the wall. Does he go and go for it? He gets the stun into the Lost Chapter, though. Cataclysm is there. Bullet time, though. Able to get so much damage on the side of AHQ as they find their first kill. A Redacted is the back line. It's a double. Make it a triple for the Crocodile. Civ finally shows up on the map.
This is massive for AHQ. That was the fight that they were waiting for. And the thing is, RSG actually helped that sort of setup. Oh, Ziv? Are you going for it? Looks like that's going to be a no. Everything's fine and dandy except for RSG's side. That was too aggressive by RSG. They pushed too forward, actually. Kongye was almost caught out, but the Yumi was with him, and an easy flag and drag will just easily place him in a better position. And here, this funnel, though, it was so perfect because ram into the wall, there's the stun. And then everyone lined up for that beautiful shot.
Delulu! He put his shield up the wrong way.
Oh, no, you're right.
If he had that shield up,
it will be perfect.
Different team fight.
Yeah.
That one small mistake on your first game in the PCS ends up costing the team big time.
The other way around. Oh, no. Oh boy. Okay, that is one of the things. Like, there's a match reset. And there's a team fight reset. So hopefully this does not, you know, seep through Delulu after that. As you're right, it would have been a different team fight if ever that shield would have hit.
And with that, like you mentioned, there's team fight resets, and now AHQ have reset this entire match. And RSG find themselves slightly behind after having such a great start to this match against AHQ. And a match that, honestly, it's fair to say a lot of people wrote off completely, saying this would be likely a stomp. They've come out so far and showed their colors. Looking good here. But small mistakes like that from Delulu can end up costing you so much like it just has.
Well, RSG will try to pick up the pieces from that to engage, as the kills actually went over to someone very crucial in the AHQ comp. So Ziv will be able to just annoy the backline, especially for Mexi here, as the Renekton. Well, good thing, good news. There's not a lot of flank options for Ziv at the moment, as there's decent vision coming from RSG, I suppose, in their own side and a little bit on HQ side. But with the Infernal Drake up, that's how you wanna roll for sure for Ziv here. I'm a little bit worried. That's the 3-2-0 Renekton already.
There is still the possibility. So though Civ has all this gold now, off all these kills, you always have to factor in that Poppy ultimate.
Yes.
That can come out from Shinsekai. So it's not all hope, doom and gloom. This is the most even game Resurgence have ever had outside their victory last week. And to do it against the top team is an accomplishment. And there's still the possibility that, you know, they get themselves back in composure like we saw in the early game. And AHQ maybe make a mistake. There it is, the engage coming immediately onto Mexi. But guess what? That's going to be the misfortune. Caught out in your back line. And the shutdown goes on over to the Braum. Civ is going to get taken down too. And Resurgence find 2 kills in mid.
Another perfect setup that RSG didn't start. It was actually Kongya that wanted that fight. And because of that, Dragon is open. 2 members down for AHQ. Even the 80 carry down. Ziv as well. So RSG are playing the team fights really, really well.
And like that, Resurgence, one more good team fight in 5 minutes. You net yourself Infernal Soul. Let's see how that one took place.
All right, so this is AHQ's call to start the fight. As everyone from RSG is pretty much scattered, they found Mexi quite separated from the Braum, so that was their go signal to go. But the heal, the movement speed assisted in dodging the Yuumi ult. The Keeper's Verdict zoned out the front line, even taking Yuumi out of the fight for a few seconds. Therefore, your back line turns into your front line. RSG just cleaned up house.
And unfortunately, that's one of our first kind of, I guess, positional mistakes coming out from Wako on the Misfortune. Ended up getting pillared by Epic at the beginning of his ultimate, so he barely got any damage off with the bullet time. And Raven's been able to get some good flanks here and there with some okay ward coverage coming out from Resurgence as far as denying vision. And there you go. Resurgence find a fight in their favor. It's still a very close game, only separated by about 500 gold. You can still feel that confidence within Resurgence.
Exactly, and I feel like as long as they keep winning these fights, they're going to be more, well, air quote, excited to try either an outplay, just as what they did earlier, as Kongyo is the one who initiated the fight. They have to be very careful. AHQ has to be very careful when they want to initiate these 5v5s, especially when Shinsekai is around. That, you know, small window, like small few seconds of one of your members, 2 or 3 members out of the fight is just going to be key. Shinsekai?
Oh, might be caught out here. Last chapter is going to root him. Multiple members nearby. Shinsekai in a bit of trouble. Keeper's Verdict is available. Epic's nearby, and that will be the disengage coming out from the ultimate.
That'll be a few seconds out without the Keeper's Verdict. That will be the window that AHQ will be looking for. Without that ult, I suppose AHQ will be a little bit more braver entering into these either sieges, objective dances such as the Baron, or possibly initiate the fight. RSG will also be more wary, as it's definitely a key portion of the composition that they drafted so far.
Infernal now, 2.5 minutes. Resurgence are just going to go ahead and back off, clear out some of the waves. Like to see some more vision come down, especially into the mid portion of the map. Neither squad actually has pushed vision past the river here, so Shinsekai being this far forward, it's actually a little bit risky, as he's going to get collapsed on here if he's not careful. It looks like he's going to back off here after pushing that to the halfway point of the lane. Civ does have teleport available as well, so Baron is kind of now the question here. Does Resurgence feel confident enough to hold a Baron and be willing to trade that for the Infernal Soul? Or does AHQ, you know, vice versa, feel comfortable giving up a Baron to deny Soul?
That'll be a huge conundrum for RSG for sure. But yeah, the ball is definitely in their court. They can afford to try and puppet HQ around on what to prioritize here. But at the same time, at least we see Raven with Lichbane already completed. So the initial damage output coming from either, you get hit a Q, E in, and then auto would be extra painful for the squishies of AHQ. So that's going to be a good sign for RSG into the later fights. I'm afraid of Mexi, though. Mexi is the most vulnerable member of all of this composition, so I'm afraid. Equally, though, on the other side of the spectrum, we do have Weko, who's also pretty much vulnerable on the Misfortune. Cleanse is the biggest part of, the biggest difference, though, for these AD carries. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. AHQ looking to set up a trap here. This looks very similar to what we saw before. There we go. Delulu and Mexi both get spotted out here. Mexi gets jumped on. The stun is there. Meanwhile, though, Epic tries to return in onto the fight. Raven chasing down Uniboy. Isn't able to find it. Now Civ refocuses his target onto Raven and absolutely rips him apart, even in stasis. It's the final auto attack. He tried to flash to safety. It's not enough. And now AHQ on the hunt in mid lane. Find the slow into the scatter of the weak. Delulu forced to flash away. Gets the safety. It's the one kill in favor of AHQ.
One kill, that means a tower gone on RSG's side and as well as space for our AHQ to deny the last dragon. I want to see how that fight went. As we see, Mexi being the victim once more for the second time around. And meanwhile, Raven with the shield in. Their focus is on Wako at the back line. Uniboy being zoned out as well by Raven for Chrono Break out. And I guess at this point it was Ziv who basically had a lot of room to work with in the team fight, and therefore scared the rest of RSG to just retreat.
Well, with that, Infernal Drake will be live in just a moment. AHQ get themselves priority into the mid lane. They can also get vision down, but RSG, they're not stopping here. Epic gets the pillar down. Kongi is nearby, so he's on top of a ward. Resurgence may back off here.
They have Keeper's Verdict. They want to start a fight.
Shield being used by Delulu is usually a go button if AHQ want to go for it, but they weren't grouped up, so they can't really do much. Let's see here. RSG. Reminder, they pick up this Drake, they get Infernal Soul.
Exactly. And Cataclysm almost up, so that will time well with a bullet time.
Shensekai. Got Civ on the engage. Kongyu also nearby. See, they're just going to try and kite back out here. Raven also nearby. Dragon in favor of AHQ as far as positioning. Here we go. Epic wants to rejoin onto the fight. Pillar goes on down. Cataclysm is there. Mexi, though, just rips apart Kongya, and that's going to be the Jarvan taken down immediately. Epic is in stasis, comes back out to rejoin the fight. It's now a 4v5. AHQ, though, are still looking to position strong.
I wonder if they're waiting for Renekton's ult to expire. Now it's gone. This is the go signal.
RSG looking for their first Infernal Soul. Looking for it. There's the shield. There it is. And there's the Keeper's Verdict to say, get out of dodge. Raven, though, is taken down at the very end, but the Soul goes in favor of Resurgence.
All right, Soul for Resurgence. Now they're aiming to try and protect the Baron, as that's still 30 seconds on the clock. I want to see that again, as AHQ did very well in protecting the Dragon up until something happened with Epic just, again, Kongya diving in. It wasn't the best position, as there's not a lot of options. Ziv couldn't enter the fight because of the Cataclysm, couldn't enter the backline, and therefore put Kongya in an awkward position.
Meanwhile, on the live feed, though, you see in your bottom left, Civ is caught out. That's also Chain of Corruptions. I think Resurgence just got a free kill during the replay. And that prevents Baron from being taken by AHQ.
45 seconds. Ziv has no teleport. Does this open Baron for RSG? They may take this one, but the jungler is still alive, as Kongya will get that scuttler, so that will scare RSG a little bit. That's a pretty long death timer. What does RSG get out of this? This is their chance.
RSG, unfortunately, I don't think they get much here, as we're going to see how this all took place. It's Shensekai kind of acting as a little bit of bait here, and they almost take him down.
Very, very low. Nicely done. Placed pillar as well, and the stun lock kicks in, and Mexi with the Runans as well. Gonna try and shred through everything. Chain of Corruptions to ensure the kill, as to not let the alligator, crocodile, whatever, get away. But I guess what happen after that would be just shoving the waves for sure for RSG to set up for a possible Baron for later if they manage to get another pick off. But RSG started to get really, really scary in terms of their damage output.
Still, though, the fact that Resurgence have finally gotten themselves a Dragon Soul against AHQ.
Yes, Opal.
Again, you got to give credit, though, to AHQ because they've been able to still farm up a Storm and keep this gold pretty much dead even. You see Uniboy has a 50 CS advantage over Raven. Raven's been more focused on kills at this point. So the Syndra still has a lot of gold on top of her. If you're able to isolate the Misfortune or this Syndra, it's lights out for AHQ. And Mexi's online. He's got 4 items. He's working toward his 5th.
4-1-3, it's all about peeling for 80 carry.
Lulu, you caught out here. Gotta be a bit careful.
There's the W for the safety at least. And now AHQ is hoping to get a pick. And to catch, you know, one of the RSG members a little bit more extended, or probably trying to do ward somewhere at the Baron area. Shinsekai doesn't teleport as he is shoving that part of the map. I am nervous, Opal. This is kind of the do or die. What do you call this phase of the game?
One mistake.
One mistake that will cost you.
Civ teleport going to be up. Resurgence starting off Baron. No vision here from AHQ. Do they actually go for it, or are they just trying to draw him in? That's going to be the play. Kongyu's going to face check. He's going to get knocked up. He's going to get stunned, and Kongyu's taken down.
Wow, it's still not over as they're hoping to get Wacko.
Wacko almost gets taken down, able to flash away to safety. Last chapter also used, but that is a lot burned on the side of AHQ. And with jungle down, the call might finally be to go ahead and take the Baron.
Okay, what does RSG decide to do? Do they want to contest or try to shove mid? But at this point, they do have a couple of ults still available. Bullet time.
Civ gets taken down to half health. He's going to end up popping his ultimate. Resurgence maybe trying to back off here. Call from AHQ is trying to interrupt the Baron. And it looks like they're able to do just that. Resurgence still not confident enough to take a 5v4 as the ultimate runs out on the Renekton.
Yeah, they have to be careful. If they die in that match, or in that team fight, that potential team fight, the wave is shoved in favor of AHQ, and therefore it's just going to put them in an awkward position of either maybe even losing a Nexus tower. So Kongye tried his best to scout out the enemy. Wacko, in the meantime, will be satisfied with using the flash to escape from danger. And right now, it's all about that either, you know, Elder Drake for the next juicy spawn for RSG for sure to take. Again, this Keeper's Verdict will potentially be one of those key ults that will turn the tides of battle for RSG.
We'll see Elder Drake, like you mentioned, coming up in about 1 minute. Focal point for both of these squads. AHQ trying to hold on with best that they can. They're still in this matchup, but you can tell Resurgence, the tempo is there. They want to go for this victory. 6-11, 50 seconds on Elder. Raven also looking possibly for a play. Kongyu over toward the side and maybe needs to be a little bit careful. Waiting over, could go for the Cataclysm if he wishes to. Uniboy almost caught out there. Resurgence, here we go, pull the trigger. Kongyu, you're all alone there, buddy. Whoa. Chain of Corruption, he instantly gets taken down. That's the jungle again, getting caught out. And the engage follows through for Resurgence, but now the backtrack. Civ pops his ultimate, still has the Guardian's Angel available. They have to back off here. Resurgence, even though they keep getting this jungle, they're not picking up any objectives on the map, Riku.
It's just so much respect still for the unused bullet time and as well as Uniboy's ult. So with that not yet unleashed, I think that's the reason why they're a little bit more hesitant. These are also game-changing. Teleport coming in.
Teleport is there. It's likely going to be Shinsekai joining in. Actually, it's Zululu who ended up using the spellbook to join in on the fight. Still a decent chunk of damage comes through. Raven now isolated from the rest of his team. Has to back off. Elder Drake is live though, and Resurgence are going to try and start this up.
They're hidden. They're going in.
They're going in. They end up getting Civ down pretty low, but he still has that GA available, not able to pop it. Elder Drake now down to 8,000 health over toward the side. He's still got the bullet time available. That's going to be the Banshee's pop there on Uniboy. Flash forward onto Shinsekai. The bullet time doesn't hit anyone. Now Raven wants to join in on the fight, but he's right on top of Renekton. He goes back to the base, and now AHQ, they can pull the trigger and go for the fight, and it's one mistake that can cost you everything, Resurgence, as that's 2 kills in favor of AHQ. Mixie goes into stasis, but it doesn't matter. He gets taken down, shut down on over to Kongyu, and that's 3 kills in favor of AHQ.
Oh no, that was just an interesting turn of events, Opal, and because of that, long death timers, Shinsekai, Mexi, Delulu, HQ, no one died on their side. They can actually either take the Elder after this. Whew. Raven had Flash as well, so that was the choice of either pressing your Chrono Break or pressing your Flash and go over the wall. So those were like the options for Raven at the time, but he was sent back to base.
Yeah, Raven, he says hello. For a brief second, he's like, oh, bullet time was used. I can go in, and Civ is waiting for him, and he's like, see you guys later. Oh, boy.
That was very, very interesting. But because of that, I think it was the indecisiveness of RSG as well. Because the more that they wanted to dance around, the more that they were getting poked out by the Syndra. And Delulu was already very low at the time as well. Whew, I'm getting nervous. That's a 4K gold lead over at HQ, but at this point of the game, gold leads kind of don't matter. The death timers will matter, though.
Yeah, that's a massive blow here for Resurgence. The game was in their hands. They got the jungle twice back-to-back, and they still weren't confident enough to go for one of these epics. Instead now, Baron is started by AHQ. I don't think Epic can try and respond. There's no way for him to get into the pit. That's Baron as well as Elder now in favor of AHQ. Can Resurgence hold?
That is the question. They do have some form of decent wave clear with both Qs of Mexi and Raven, but that's empowered AHQ, Baron and Elder. That is something that you have to think twice of staying under tower. Look at Delulu, very, very low already.
Shinsekai looking for a flank here, possibly, as that is going to be the inhib tower crumbling here on the next wave. Looks like Resurgence aren't going to try and answer. Raven's trying to get the parallel convergence to actually line up, but still not able to. As there it goes. Inhibitor now exposed. Kongyu looking for the flag drag. Not going to pull the trigger. Does AHQ just try and force this fight? They still have the Elder available to them. RSG need to hold. Kongyu goes in once again, but there it is. Keeper's verdict puts him over toward the side. They get the Jarvan. AHQ maybe went a little too far forward. Now a 5v4 in favor of Resurgence, but AHQ, they're not stopping.
They're not stopping at all. Now where's the engage? Wacko's quite left out in the open. Ziv's ult has already expired, so what does RSG decide to do? That's 30 seconds!
It's a 5v4 Resurgence. You gotta pull the trigger. You gotta go for a play, or all you've done this game will matter for naught as Civ jumps in, takes down the bar, and just like that, Braum will fall. The rest of the team goes with them. Bullet time interrupted. Shinsekai able to pin him against the pillar, but guess what? The Nexus is exposed. Civ looks to add to his kill collection. The triple kill. And AHQ, they're able to bring it back.
What a turnaround. That was RSG's game, but eventually they fell like dominoes. AHQ, my word, patience is a virtue, and that lead from RSG didn't faze them. And there's a lot of things that I wanted to say. There was just so many questions. Kongyu got caught out so many times.
Yeah, Kongyu, calm down there, bud. The amount of flag drags into like 4 people into a Cataclysm on 1 member. Kongyu had himself a rough game. And it's kind of showed with AHQ how much they rely on this synergy from Uniboy and Kongyu. If they don't have good games, their mid-game kind of falls apart. Other hand, though, Resurgence, why are you not fighting a 5v4 in your base as it's getting taken? That I don't get. Ultimates were burned. Everything was gone. Like, you got to hold the base at some point, or else you just keep getting poked out like that.
I expected they would have a similar approach to it, the same way that Kongyu would just dive in. I thought they would have the same approach to the 4v5, but I guess it wasn't there. I do understand sometimes that ults were still up, like especially the bullet time. I'm not sure. Resurgence, they were so close.
They're so close.
They were so close.
And I said at the beginning of the game, I'd be happy no matter what I saw at the
Are
end
you
of this
happy?
game. For Resurgence, yes.
Okay.
This was a breath of fresh life I think the team desperately needed
Yes.
in their performances. Now, they're probably going to, you know, be tilted off the face of the earth by the fact that this game got, you know, taken back by AHQ.
Yeah.
My decision, like, my question is, they killed Kongyu like 2 or 3 times.
3 times.
With Elder, with Baron being available on 2 of them, by the way. And they wouldn't go for an objective. This team was so afraid to fight a 4v5 that it just let AHQ scale.
I mean, I guess to be fair, their engage was kind of awkward.
But if you force the fight
If
around
you force
the
the
objective,
fight, I suppose.
then
yes.
they gotta come to you. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the, I believe this is the Elder Drake fight.
Elder Drake fight where we saw Delulu teleport, got chunked out by Ziv, where Raven had a nice flanking position there as he kept Wacko and Uniboy busy. This was the correct approach. This is the fight that they wanted to get. They wanted to focus on Ziv because he was obviously the biggest threat in AHQ side at the time. But they were getting free hitted by pokes from AHQ and the bullet time. This is actually the unfortunate event. The Raven chrono break to base.
Unfortunately, if you look at one play, and Mexi also missed his ultimate. I didn't see that during the first team fight replay. Those 2 mistakes might have been what ended up costing them.
Yeah.
It's small decisions. It's small misplays that end up just building into a bigger issue. And that's how AHQ were able to take it. Like, you go back to that first team, one of those first team fights.
The bullet time.
The bullet time that destroyed Resurgence, all because the shield was the wrong way from Dululu.
Yes.
Small mistakes like that can end up costing you everything. And Resurgence, they were so darn close to taking a victory off our top-ranked team in the PCS.
It's actually crazy. The contrast is crazy. And we never really imagined that it'd go this far, especially coming up against AHQ. And the fight that we witnessed on their first round robin match was just very fresh. You know, we saw AHQ diving here and there, but now it's the complete opposite. But AHQ, again, as the game progresses, you're practically kind of buffing them. So at that point, at that point, RSG not able to finish in time, not able to just push on with their lead even further, and therefore HQ, ba-bam, strike you when the iron's cold.
My question here for AHQ is what happened today?
Yeah, true.
In all honesty, their coach is going to look at this and be like, so we lost both games.
Yes.
We should have lost both games.
Yes.
What's going on here? So a little bit of recomposure is needed now, I think, on AHQ's side. Even off a victory, that is a, by the skin of your teeth style of victory. That's not what you're wanting to pull off every time, especially against the team that's at the bottom of the standings.
1-8 versus the 8-1.
Maybe it's the nerves. Maybe it's because they lost earlier on in the day.
Yeah, that could be it.
That they're like, oh man, we're nervous. We're dropping games. We can't be dropping.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a possibility. MVP going to go on over to Wacko.
Wacko.
I personally think Civ deserved that, personally. Civ actually carried that game at the very end on a couple of those fights with a massive teleport, the first triple kill. So I'm going to honorably disagree with production on this one, but MVP does go on over to Waco.
Yeah, congratulations, Wacko. And everybody else. For me, Hongye, you can tell how desperate he was to try and make things happen against RSG. I get the idea, Cataclysm, and then you just time it with either a bullet time or chain it with something else, maybe with Uniboy. But at the same time, he died so many times at the last game. But I think it was pretty worth. I think it was pretty worth in the end.
I don't know. If he didn't die half those times, Resurgence wouldn't have had any of those dragons, let's be honest.
That's true.
But for Resurgence, like we said, it's a step in the right direction. So we'll have to see whether or not they can continue going that way. But, of course, our next game of the night, it's going to be Alpha taking on Virginia, as that is going to be our final game here on the PCS for day 1 of week 4. So I suggest you tune on in for that one, ladies and gentlemen, as that should be also a very close matchup. 4th and 5th in the standings. could easily have an impact when it comes to seeding into playoffs, especially when we take a look at who's going to have the tougher opponent. So this is another game that very much matters between the two squads. We're going to go ahead, though, and take a short break. When we come back, you know what I'm going to say. It's more PCS.